Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Clip That, an esports podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the OESL, or the Oklahoma Esports League, and their varsity titles. For any of you joining us for the first time ever, the varsity titles that the Oklahoma Esports League competes in this semester are Rocket League, Fortnite, Valorant, Marvel Rivals, and Rainbow Six Siege. Today, we'll specifically be talking about the main four team games, as Fortnite has a little bit more complicated of a scoring process. For anyone here, it's very exciting to be able to see these teams throughout the weeks. I definitely recommend seeing our last episode just a few weeks ago where we talked about the first couple of weeks. Now we are really 4.5 weeks in at the time of recording. Rocket League has already had a decent amount of scores, so you'll notice that they actually have gotten a couple of games done already. Here we are with Class 2A in Rocket League. Bixby leading the pack at a strong 15-5 overall game win percentage of 75%, and that 5-0 total match win percentage. Great job on Bixby. Right behind them, Noble and Broken Arrow, as well as Jinx, Moore, Booker T, all in that positive above 500 range. Definitely where you want to be before playoffs. Noble at that 4-1. I believe their only loss has been to Bixby, so definitely very exciting for them as well. I know they podiumed last year, probably looking to do that again. After those positive players, we have Stillwater and Enid, as well as Owasso as our 2-win teams. Stillwater at 2-2, Enid and Owasso at 2-3. Definitely still in the hunt, but got to start picking up the pace a little bit as we do hit the mid-season here. Midwest City, Del City, and Deer Creek and Southmore bringing up the back end of the pack in Rocket League. As we go over to Class 1A, we have Dove Science Academy leading the way at that unbeaten record, and they actually have not even dropped a game so far here, 4 weeks in, winning every game as a strong 2-0. Watch out for Dove Science Academy, definitely a juggernaut in this division at that strong 12-0 overall. Atoka and Christian Academy, as well as Poto with 3 wins though. Some at 3-1, some at 3-2, just kind of where we are at in the season. All very, very strong. And then actually Lexington and Buffalo Valley, who are both at 2-2, that 500, but a positive game win matchup. So 7-6 for both of those teams, exactly tied head-to-head for that 5th seed. And then Holdenville and Hubert High School pulling up the back. Now we shift over to Valorant, a little bit larger of a division for Class 2A here. More, though, with that 4-0, 100% game win percentage, rocking a very strong stat line all across the board. We actually got to watch them against Deer Creek this last week on Artius Media for the Game of the Week. Very excited there. More winning that one. I believe it was 13-8, if I remember correctly, so very exciting for them. Then at our 3 wins, we have Jinx, Bishop Kelly, Owasso, and Deer Creek all at that 3-1. Most of them having very solid scores overall and very strong teams. We've gotten to see a decent amount of these teams. I believe we'll be seeing Bishop Kelly versus Deer Creek this week, which is super exciting, as 2 of those playoff contenders are fighting against one another. Then we have a lot of schools here at the 2-2 mark. Definitely still in the race to make playoffs, but need to get a little bit more of a push, especially to make it into that bracket. So you've got Broken Arrow, Stillwater, Yukon, Norman, and Norman North, who are actually playing against each other this week. Battle of the Normans right there. Super exciting to watch that one. Southmore bringing up that last one there with, looks like the only reason they're in the 11th seed is they did have a forfeit loss, which is going to hurt you a little bit in the rankings, but all of those teams tied at that 2-2 record. Then you have Class and SAS at 1-2, as well as Pryor, Enid, Putnam City all at 1-3, and then Tulsa Union bringing up that 0-4 record. We then go over to Class 1A for Valorant. Salina rocking that 4-0 record. We've kind of gotten to the point in the season where a lot of these teams have really only one beaten team left in their division, and it's Salina in this one. We've gotten to see them on screen against Sequoia, who's right there at that 3-1 record. The only loss they have is to the number 1 seed Salina, so also doing a very strong job there in Sequoia. We also have John Marshall and Shoto over here at that 3-1 record. And then once we get to the 2-2s, we have Atoka and Collinsville actually playing today to try and iron out who should be that 5th seed currently. A very important game there as we get into seeding for playoffs. Then at 1-3, we have Caney, Shekataw, and Wayne high schools. Definitely very exciting to see those teams be able to compete. Still enough games in the season for them to come back, especially with how tight this division is in the middle. And then we have Holdenville at the bottom, 0-4, still looking for that first win, but definitely going to be able to find it sometime during this season. Now we go over to Rocket League. Marvel Rivals for this one in 2A. A lot of schools in Marvel Rivals here. 20 total schools in this 2A division. And UConn having the lead there at that 4-0. We got to watch them on stream once. Have a Game 5 win against Moore. Definitely a thriller there. This game has also been moved to a best-of-3 now. Used to be a best-of-5 in the first couple weeks. And we're starting to see how this adjusts to some of these teams as Owasso, Moore, Edison, Broken Arrow, Booker T, and Deer Creek are all at 3-1. What a competitive division here in the Class 2A Marvel Rivals already. And a lot of 2-win schools as well with Southmore, Enid, Noble, McAllister, Putnam City, and U.S. Grant all at that 2 wins. Definitely trying to get back in there. I'm not sure how many teams actually make it into playoffs for this one. Going to be very exciting to talk about. And Edison actually up there at 3-1. Very excited to talk about them. We are actually going to be able to talk with their coach, Coach Pursley, later today in this episode. So very exciting to talk with them. As we go over to the Class 1A for Marvel Rivals, we have Sequoia over here at the top, who is also rocking a strong record in Valorant, and Salina here as well, who is the 4-0 team in Valorant. So definitely 2 great programs there for Sequoia and Salina, already showing off their powerhouse. Then at those 3-1s, we have Buffalo Valley, Atoka, John Marshall, and Salina, like I said, doing a great job there, being able to stay super competitive. At the 2 wins, we have Shoto, Colgate, Caney, Poto, Jay, and Panama, as well as Bing, the Bing Pirates. Shout out Bing. Doing a great job there, being able to get to that 2 wins. Definitely still in the race, but really about around that 8 seed where Caney is right now. That's where you're going to really start worrying about if you're going to make it into the postseason or not. So these 2-2 teams, that's probably all that's on their mind right now. Then you have Fort Townsend, Lexington, Stigler, and Rock Creek over here at this 1-3 or 1-4, depending if they've played their game or not. Going to have to pick up a pace a little bit if they have postseason aspirations. These teams usually are struggling with something and just trying to figure it out at this point. But again, if you have teams like Sequoia, like Salina, Buffalo Valley, Atoka, or John Marshall, who are just being so dominant in this division, it's going to be hard to turn it back around. Great job for those teams. Now we have Rainbow Six Siege in Class 2A. Very different from Marvel Rivals, where there's only 9 teams here for 2A, where there was 20 plus in Marvel Rivals. But we have Jinx and Putnam City, as well as Norman North, all at 3-1 in this division. No more undefeated teams in Rainbow Six for the Class 2A division. Very exciting and very competitive there at the top, probably dishing losses to one another. Then you have Bixby, Broken Arrow, Norman, Stillwater, and Noble, all at that 2-2. Enid, the only one under 500 at 1-3. Really a division that's just beating up on one another. Really, every week is different. Very exciting to watch these Siege games. I know we got to watch Jinx versus Bixby on stream, where Jinx's players went absolutely berserk. One of them sporting a 30-5 stat line. And if you've ever played Siege, that's absolutely nutso to think of. Now we go to Class 1A, actually rocking more teams than the Class 2A in here, having 11 total Siege teams. We have Cash at that unbeaten 4-0. Cash, the only unbeaten team in Siege left in the Oklahoma Esports League. So great job to Cash there with that plus-minus of 23, too. Oh my goodness, that round differential from Cash really just putting on a dominant performance. Then at 3-1, you have Poto and Pontotoc, who are both doing great at 3-1. A lot of 2-2 teams, though. Union City, Sequoia, Lexington, Wayne, and Wynnewood, as well as Fort Townsend at 2-3. Definitely still in the hunt with a smaller division. It's not like Marvel Rivals where you have to be in the top 50% to make playoffs. Usually it's like the top 65 to 70. All these teams have a great chance. But with Cash, again, 23 plus in the round differential in that 4-0. Just so difficult to express how dominant that is in a type like Siege. Let's see. That means in the entire season, they've dropped 5 rounds. They have a round differential of 5 in the entire season because they've won 28 and then, lost 5. Absolute dominance there from Cash. Those are all our scores for the varsity titles in the Oklahoma Esports League. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going to have an interview with Coach Pursley of the Edison Eagles coming right up soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Clip That, an esports podcast. My name is Garrett, a.k.a. Fuzzball, and I'm joined here today with Wyatt, a.k.a. Coach Pursley, a.k.a. 22, a.k.a. OSU GOAT. Wyatt, it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, a little bit of banter there, I guess, because the lore would be that we go back as teammates, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, the lore is we're back as we go back as teammates back to the OSU days, OSU Overwatch. Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, cool, fun doing this,
Yeah,
Garrett.
for sure. Super excited to have you. Yeah, Wyatt and I, Coach Persley and I, have been playing together for 6 years now. We're
Yeah,
on the
wow.
Overwatch team together. And now Coach Persley here, coach of the Edison Eagles up there in Tulsa. Wyatt, how have your teams been doing? How are you feeling about the esports season so far?
It's been a good season. It's been a very good season so far. We are working hard. I have a lot of seniors. That's kind of the storyline for Edison Esports right now, which is great because we get to experience what years of practicing different things is leading up to. But now it's also kind of the loom of them graduating soon is very kind of it's hard. We don't think about that. We think about
For
the
sure.
great times that we're having this season because they are doing very well and they're playing well together. They're synergizing. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's exciting to hear. And I mean, I think that's a really common issue, not just in esports, but all sort of high school sports, is your students,
Right.
as they get better and they progress, they start to age out, and then you have to rebuild your roster over and over again. I don't know how many teachers and coaches I've had come on and say, well, we have a couple seniors graduating and got to find holes for that. So that's definitely a struggle that you guys
Yeah.
have, I feel like.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely. It's just part of it, and it's interesting how you have to kind of build and reset because you're not only trying to reap the benefits of having that senior roster that has a lot of experiences in game, and they know what you're looking for them to do in game, but you're also trying to make sure that the new people that are right behind them are picking up on what they're doing, and so you're trying to rebuild that, reteach that while they're all executing as well. So
for sure.
it's a lot going on.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you have a middle school program as well, right? So some of those students
Right.
you're coaching for upwards of 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to have a middle school program and a high school program underneath one roof, right? Because the high school and middle school here at Edison are all one building. It's a very unique opportunity that Edison has. This is our second year with the middle school program, and our first year having more than just Smash with the middle school program. So now we're really starting to expand the rosters on the middle school level, and we have sixth graders that are in that middle school program right now, and it is, you stop and you think, it's like, man, this person graduates and I don't even know when, some
Yeah.
20, 30 something.
Yeah.
And they have that opportunity to be on an esports team for that entire career, if you will. Um,
For,
and
for
really
sure.
build, which is something that of course is done in traditional sports. So it's just fun to be able to see it in esports as well.
Yeah. So do you think that there are a lot of comparison from esports to traditional sports as you've grown into the experience? Obviously, this is your third year as an esports coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Third year at Edison, sure, yeah, third year at Edison, and then various assistant coach at Atoka before this, and coach for different youth esports programs as well. But yeah, I mean, the similarities between traditional sports and esports are plentiful and also absent in other ways, right? So you definitely have the expectation that players understand their responsibility on a team. They have jobs that they have to execute in the game. They have jobs that they have to execute on a communication front, and they have to deliver, right? And so that is absolutely true. I could be talking about an esports Overwatch team or a football team right there, and those statements are still going to track, right? And then obviously there's things that are different, things that are unique obstacles to overcome in an esports setting, or things that we don't have to worry about as much in esports, which, I guess I'm not mad that we're not on the 90-degree track, or we're out there on the football field on some of those
For
days in
sure.
August, but
Yeah.
definitely our own challenges to overcome.
Yeah, for sure. So, Coach Persley, with this being your third year as a teacher and a coach, for anyone out there who's interested in getting into the space, the esports space, the coaching space, or the teaching space, what's the number one piece of advice you've learned over these first 3 years?
I think the biggest thing, especially now, being in an environment where I'm in middle school, high school, I'm with the kids on a very regular basis, managing practices and matches. I'm realizing more and more that the job of a coach, and I think maybe the focus of a coach is you want to develop a really, really strong program, is focused on building a culture that's productive. Like you need to find out what strategies are going to work for you to make the players want to push themselves and want to keep trying and want to be competitive. I kind of previously thought like, oh, I'm going to be fantastic at this because I have the game knowledge and I know what I want players to do in game. And I thought that was the focus, but I think the more that you do it, the more I realize how important it is to build that culture and to build that community of players that want to succeed together. And that's been something I've been focusing on, and something that's really great to see pay off.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we've been seeing it pay off. We just went over the score recap, saw that your Marvel Rivals team is 3-1 in the OESL, seen a lot of your teams compete at a high level, whether it's Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, you name it, Smash Bros. We've seen a lot of competitors from Edison there. So you're definitely doing a great job, Coach Persley.
Yeah, I appreciate that. The Rivals competition has been pretty stern. We started off with that hard game against Owasso, and Owasso's coming off of a very credible program, right? Strong Overwatch teams, strong Marvel Rivals teams dating back to before this season. And so we knew that was going to be a hard game day one. But hey, that was just our opportunity. We get to play that game in the regular season. We welcome the hardest opponents during the regular season, because that gives us the opportunity to start taking notes and figuring out what we got to do for that rematch that we hope to see in the playoffs. So yeah, I think about Owasso, and then also this week, UConn this week is going to be a very, very exciting match. Edison versus UConn.
Might be a little game of the week right there. A little note on what to put down there.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I know.
Maybe
we got the Edison versus Noble game on stream last week.
For sure.
Good time for sure. But UConn undefeated right now. I guess that's probably the storyline that you guys are following for Marvel.
Yeah, definitely talking about that.
Big win against Owasso. That's something that, of course, we're keeping an eye on too. So very, very exciting.
For sure. Well, Coach Persley, I know you have a lot of Eagles to take care of back there. Thank you so much for this time for this interview. And for everyone out there, make sure you get in contact with Coach Persley, and he can help you build your culture too.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's been good. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll see you guys next time.